Today, the Trump administration expanded its AI protectionism strategy in a direction nobody predicted, straight into robotics. Tariffs and import restrictions just moved from software and chips into physical robots. That's going to reshape how factories get built, which robots show up on manufacturing floors, and ultimately which countries control automation for the next decade. You've probably heard about AI trade wars. American tech companies protecting their software and chips from competition. China racing to build homegrown AI models. But robotics is completely different. A robot isn't abstract code or a piece of silicon. It's a 500-pound machine with sensors and motors that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. These robots are already working inside American factories, right now doing critical work. And tariffs on foreign robots hit the entire supply chain like a hammer. Here's the scale. The robotics market is heading toward $300 billion by 2030. Boston Dynamics, Tesla, and Chinese firms like Unitree are building robots that can actually work, fold laundry, handle packages, work in hazardous environments. Every one of these machines is powered by AI and cutting-edge chips. This was supposed to be the manufacturing frontier, but trade restrictions work on what exists right now. And right now, the world's best robots come from China, Japan, and Europe. The Trump administration is using tariffs as leverage to keep robotics development inside America. And here's where it gets complicated. To understand why robotics is being targeted, you need to know how AI protectionism actually started. 3 years ago, the Trump administration began restricting what American companies could sell to China. Not just AI models, actual hardware, GPUs, chips, the tools needed to build advanced AI. The reasoning was simple. If China can't access cutting-edge chips, China can't build powerful AI systems. That slowed China's progress. But something unexpected happened. China didn't give up. They doubled down. They built homegrown chip alternatives. They stopped waiting for American permission. They created their own AI ecosystem. Suddenly, America wasn't just ahead on AI, it was ahead on robotics, autonomous systems, and industrial automation too. So why target robotics now? Because robotics is the bridge between AI theory and real-world economic power. A language model sits in a data center making predictions. A robot powered by AI walks into a factory and starts replacing human workers. It affects employment. It affects manufacturing competitiveness. It affects economic dominance. The Trump administration sees robotics as the next strategic battleground. If America can lock down robotics, it locks down manufacturing for the next 20 years. No foreign robots means factories buy American robots. American companies lead. American workers train the systems. But wait, there's something nobody's talking about. So how does protectionism on robots actually work? Here's the mechanism: tariffs. When a robot made in China arrives at an American port, it gets slapped with a 25, 30, maybe 40% import tax. Suddenly, that $400,000 robot costs $500,000 to $560,000 delivered. It's the same playbook as steel and automobiles, make foreign products too expensive to compete. There's a second layer: export controls. The United States can ban American companies from selling advanced chips to Chinese robotics makers. That means Chinese robots can't get the latest processors, latest sensors. Their capabilities get capped. Meanwhile, American robots get unrestricted technology. It's asymmetric competition. The third mechanism is supply chain pressure. Robots need advanced semiconductors, specialized motors, AI accelerators. Most components come from specialized suppliers. The United States can pressure these suppliers not to sell to foreign robot makers. Japan's not going to cut off NVIDIA GPUs to Chinese companies if America's threatening tariffs on Japanese robots too. The fourth mechanism is the most direct: market access restrictions. The United States government can simply say Chinese robots cannot be sold inside America. Period. No imports, no workarounds. It's a total embargo. But what catches everyone by surprise is the dominoes it sets in motion. Tariffs alone work on price, but combined with export controls, supply chain pressure, and market bans, they create a fortress. Here's the twist nobody expected. Let's get specific. Boston Dynamics makes some of the world's most advanced humanoid robots, machines called Atlas and Stretch that can navigate stairs, open doors, handle packages with precision. Boston Dynamics is American, but it's majority owned by Hyundai, a South Korean corporation. That ownership structure suddenly makes it vulnerable if the United States decides foreign ownership equals foreign robotics. Then there's Unitree, a Chinese company building quadruped robots, four-legged machines that cost around $150,000 and do industrial inspection, security patrols, hazardous environment work. Unitree robots are already being sold into American companies. Tariffs on these machines could price them out of the United States market in one stroke. Tesla's Optimus robot is American-made, but it depends on components from global suppliers. If the United States restricts which chips Tesla can use, Optimus becomes slower, less capable. The supply chain is global. Japanese companies like Honda and Fanuc make industrial robots deployed in American factories for decades. They're not AI-powered headlines, but they are critical to production. Tariffs hit these machines hard. AB, a Swiss company, makes autonomous mobile robots for warehouses. These robots work inside America's largest fulfillment centers right now. A tariff or import ban could force companies to rip out working robots and replace them with more expensive American alternatives that might be less capable. And that's just the beginning. Here's the comparison: American robotics companies versus the rest of the world. Today, America has about 35% of the global robotics market. Japan and Europe together have 40%. China is growing fast with about 15%. Those numbers are based on free trade, open supply chains, and companies competing on innovation. But protectionism changes everything. If tariffs make foreign robots too expensive and import bans lock them out, American companies don't have to innovate faster. They just have to be cheaper than the tariff. A mediocre American robot priced at $350,000 suddenly looks better than an advanced Chinese robot that costs $500,000 after tariffs. That sounds good for American workers short term. More factories buy American robots. More Americans build and maintain them. Manufacturing employment might increase. But here's the catch: other countries retaliate. Japan puts tariffs on American semiconductors. Europe restricts American AI software. China bans American robot components. Suddenly, supply chains get disrupted, costs skyrocket, innovation slows because companies are forced to use inferior components. Meanwhile, global robotics companies pivot. They build robots that don't depend on America. They develop technology deliberately independent. They strengthen ties with other countries. They expand in Asia, Europe, and emerging markets. They stop selling to the United States market and focus on everywhere else. In 10 years, America might lead its own protected market, but the world's robotics companies have caught up and moved on to technologies America's companies never developed. But here's what most coverage gets wrong. Here's what protectionism on robotics actually means for supply chains and consumer prices. First, manufacturing gets more expensive. Factories can't pick the best robot for the job anymore. They pick the cheapest American alternative. If that robot is 20 or 30% worse at its job, factories need more robots to do the same work. Costs go up. Those costs get passed to consumers. Second, automation slows down. If a company in Ohio can't afford new robots because tariffs make them too expensive, that company keeps using older manual labor or outdated machinery. Productivity stays flat. Economic growth slows. Wages for factory workers don't rise because factories aren't becoming more efficient. Third, supply chains break. Imagine a warehouse in California that's been using a robot made in Japan for 8 years. That robot needs replacement parts. But now Japanese robots are restricted or tariffed. The company has to replace the entire robot fleet with American machines. That's millions of dollars in switching costs. Smaller companies go out of business. Fourth, innovation stalls. Robotics companies stop competing on features and performance. They compete on cost and nationality. That's not a recipe for breakthroughs. That's a recipe for mediocrity. Fifth, global competitors accelerate elsewhere. While America protects its market, the rest of the world's robotics companies get smarter, faster, more capable. They develop without American competition or American supply chain dependencies. The part most people overlook entirely. So what should you watch for if robotics protectionism actually takes hold? First, watch supply chain announcements. When American companies start reshoring robot manufacturing or announcing new factories, that's a sign the tariffs are working as intended. But also watch for layoffs at robot companies. When companies can't compete on innovation, they cut staff. Second, watch consumer prices. If shipping costs go up and warehouse automation costs go up, those expenses trickle down to the things you buy. Watch whether your favorite online retailer starts charging more for next-day delivery. That's tariffs speaking. Third, watch for innovation slowdowns. Keep track of what robots can actually do. Are robots getting smarter and more capable each year, or are improvements slowing down? If American companies get comfortable winning on price instead of features, innovation stops. Fourth, watch international company strategies. If Boston Dynamics and Tesla start building factories outside America or selling robots more aggressively to non-United States markets, that tells you protectionism is pushing the best technology away from the United States market. Fifth, track how long this actually lasts. Trade wars are popular in one election cycle and deeply unpopular in the next. Watch whether Congress pushes back. Watch whether American companies themselves ask for tariff relief. When the people the tariffs are supposed to help start asking to end them, that's when things change. Sixth, monitor global development. Are Chinese robots getting better or worse? Are Japanese robots finding new markets? That's your indicator of whether protectionism is working or backfiring. Here's the thing that changes everything. Here's what you need to remember about robotics protectionism. This is about control, not innovation. The Trump administration is betting that locking robots inside America for the next 10 years will make American companies unbeatable. Maybe it will, but history suggests otherwise. Every time a government tries to wall off a technology, the rest of the world doesn't stand still. They innovate around it. They build alternatives. They eventually leapfrog. China's semiconductor industry was supposed to be crippled by chip restrictions. Instead, China is building its own chip ecosystem faster than anyone expected. The same will happen with robotics. Tariffs might slow Chinese and Japanese robots from entering America for a few years. But in the meantime, global robotics companies will get better. Supply chains will rewire. Technology will evolve in ways American companies won't be part of. And here's the subtle cost nobody measures, the opportunity cost. While American companies are protected from foreign competition, they're also protected from the pressure to innovate faster. 5 years of protected markets might feel like a win. 20 years in, when the rest of the world's robots are a generation ahead, it looks like a loss. So what happens next? Watch the supply chains change. Watch prices rise. Watch whether this protectionism expands to other AI-adjacent industries or stays focused on robots. Because this is just the beginning of how trade policy and AI collide. If you want to understand what's actually happening with AI, trade, and technology, follow for daily AI news.